I want to ask you about Jay-Z's album.
I think it's genius. I mean, like all of his projects, I thought it was really good.
Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled, it's a scene where it's checkerboards. These are all occult Satan.
It was the kind of courtroom twist nobody in the music world saw coming. And when that gavel slammed, the shockwaves were unreal. Rymir, the man who's been shouting from the shadows for years that he's Jay-Z's biological son, just walked out of court with a win that feels ripped straight from an alternate reality. 1.6 billion, not a quiet settlement, not some backroom handshake deal, but a legal judgment so massive it could carve right through the Rock Nation empire like a blade.
Felonies, I'm not crazy and none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything, so I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
Putting everything on the chopping block, from tour money to streaming investments. And now the whispers say Beyoncé herself, the queen of flawless control, is pacing her mansion floors in what insiders are calling controlled chaos. Jay-Z's been ducking DNA tests for years, brushing off Rymir's claims like they were nothing while building an image of untouchable power. But this judgment isn't just paperwork. It's a public takedown that rips away the shield he's always had. Let's be real, $1.6 billion isn't pocket change, not even for a billionaire.
Beyoncé for sure. I love her. I love Beyoncé. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
That's the kind of hit that forces asset sales, crumbles brand partnerships, and makes big money investors start running for the exits. Every single hour that passes without a fix drags Jay's name deeper into the mud, and the pressure is eating away at his empire. And then there's Beyoncé. Her entire brand is built on perfection. Yet now her marriage is playing out like a battlefield. Sources say she's already dropped a cold ultimatum behind closed doors, and it's got the whole industry buzzing.
Oh, no, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
Jay-Z has two options: settle this monster before it goes fully nuclear, or watch Beyoncé reevaluate the entire foundation of their marriage. Think about the weight of that. She's weathered storms before, but this isn't just gossip. This is a court-certified billion-dollar humiliation tied to allegations stretching back decades. How do you turn that into a cheerful summer tour rollout? How do you shield 3 kids from a tidal wave of headlines that will follow them right into their classrooms? Insiders are already whispering about quiet calls to elite divorce attorneys. Nothing public, but serious enough to make Hollywood's rumor mill spin at full speed. And once those kinds of conversations start, they're nearly impossible to walk back. Every time Jay-Z's lawyers stall in court, it's more time Beyoncé loses control of the narrative. And in her world, optics aren't just image, they're the business itself. Right now, the optics are toxic, with luxury brands suddenly pausing talks and endorsement deals cooling in the background. But here's the kicker: Rymir's victory doesn't just validate his story, it could light the fuse for more people to step forward.
The potential, Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
One name already bubbling back up is Letitia Ambiol, a woman from Maryland who's long claimed she's Jay-Z's daughter. If her claims resurface with fresh energy, Jay won't just be facing one legal nightmare. He could be staring down a domino effect of paternity bombshells. Her story has floated around for years, dismissed in public, ignored by Jay himself. But now, with Rymir proving the impossible can actually happen in court, her camp is buzzing with fresh confidence. She's spoken before about life in a small town where, according to her, everybody whispered that Jay-Z was her father. She's opened up about her mother's health battles, about stepping in to raise her siblings while carrying this secret. And if she chooses to bring it all back into the spotlight, Jay wouldn't just be facing one storm. He'd be staring down 2 paternity wars at the same time.
I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
her.
That's a chain reaction no spin doctor on earth can clean up. Even wilder are whispers from a former friend who claims Jay quietly bought her a house in Cambridge, Maryland, and covered her bills under an arrangement that barred her from ever showing his picture. Jay-Z's stayed silent on those rumors for years, but after Rymir's victory, silence may no longer save him. If she steps up with fresh receipts, and insiders swear she's holding more.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyoncé on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing,
baby?
girl?
It's so good to see you.
The narrative could flip overnight, from reluctant father figure to full-blown serial denier. And that kind of stain doesn't just wreck a personal image. It drags down the carefully crafted billionaire brand he's built as a so-called role model and business icon. The cracks in the empire are impossible to ignore now. Roc Nation, Tidal, Deuce of Cognac, it all thrives on one thing, the aura of control, influence, and credibility. Strip that away and the sharks start circling fast. Corporate partners hate uncertainty, and right now Jay-Z is walking, talking uncertainty.
This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
To say that they didn't do it on their own?
detain it.
Every new headline about his alleged past, every connection to other embattled industry figures chips away at the confidence of those who once proudly tied their brands to him. And then there's Beyoncé. Her position is even trickier. She's not just a wife, she's a billion-dollar trademark in her own right. Her tours fuel entire economies. Her name moves fashion, fragrance, and film projects. But standing beside Jay during a drawn-out courtroom circus could drain her brand value by simple association.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their.
Yet if she bails too suddenly, critics might paint her as cold-blooded, abandoning her husband mid-collapse. That's the razor-thin tightrope she's walking, and insiders say her patience is running out fast. Now picture this, Rymir and Letitia both in court at the same time, their claims colliding, witnesses crawling out with new details. Imagine Beyoncé, exhausted by whispers at every gala and red carpet stop, quietly mapping an exit strategy behind closed doors.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
The couple once celebrated as the very blueprint of power and perfection in music could transform into a cautionary tale overnight. And the fall from untouchable would be one of the fastest the industry's ever seen. The feeling of inevitability is closing in. For years, Jay-Z kept certain chapters of his past locked away with airtight lawyers and endless technicalities. But judges don't bow to celebrity mystique the way fans do, and Rymir's billion-dollar win already proved the armor can crack wide open. Now the real question is, what happens if the next blow lands before he's even patched up from this one?
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
The fallout wouldn't just shake his world, it could rattle the entire foundation of hip-hop's most legendary empire. The numbers are insane, and this is just the start. $1.6 billion isn't some legal fee. It's a wrecking ball swinging straight at Roc Nation itself. The artist roster, the sports management branch, the publishing wing, all of it suddenly hangs under a cloud so dark, even his most loyal partners are quietly planning exit routes.
I know so much on how you got where you are. How you stepped on many people.
If that judgment gets enforced in full, Jay could be forced into a humiliating fire sale, dumping his stake in Tidal, unloading his liquor brands, pawning off luxury investments, all at bargain prices just to keep the wolves from the door. The optics of a mogul reduced to scrambling liquidation, brutal. And in a business that survives on confidence, the scent of panic alone can trigger a market freefall.
we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
And here's the part insiders are buzzing about. The whispers in high-rise boardrooms have already begun. Investors are holding late-night crisis calls. Marketing teams are scrubbing Jay-Z's face from campaigns already in motion. One luxury brand has even frozen a rollout tied to his name, indefinitely. This isn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about association. In a world where perception is money, even the hint of instability makes collaborators run for cover. And every day that billion-dollar judgment sits unpaid, that perception hardens into something far uglier, something almost impossible to reverse. The most chilling twist is how fast one courtroom blow has cracked open the secret children narrative again. Rymir's billion-dollar win isn't sitting in isolation. It's being seen as the first fracture in a dam that's been straining for decades. And now, Latia Mayer's story, once brushed aside, is surging back with new fire.
To take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
Those who've tracked her claims remember the details. Relatives who insist they introduced her mother to Jay-Z, the hometown whispers that never disappeared, and the cryptic posts online where she hinted she's stayed silent for far too long. If she pushes her case into court with the same relentless drive Rymir showed, the timing could be catastrophic for Jay. Industry insiders are already asking the question nobody wants to voice. If there are two, could there be even more? Other names have floated through gossip blogs over the years, brushed off as nothing. But now, with a billion-dollar ruling stamped into public record, every old whisper feels alive again. What once looked like a standard privacy move, refusing a DNA test, now reads as straight-up defiance, like he's hiding something deeper. And every no comment only dumps gasoline on the speculation that the claimant list might not be finished.
Is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out until 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway.
Behind closed doors, the personal strain is impossible to ignore. Sources close to the Carters describe a household in full lockdown, schedules rewritten, public appearances slashed, and a non-stop cycle of damage control. What was once the image of untouchable royalty is now starting to look like a family fortress under siege, and the cracks keep spreading. Beyoncé's camp, famous for controlling her narrative down to the last pixel, is reportedly stretched to the breaking point trying to shield her empire from the fallout. The more these secret child stories spread, the more the spotlight drifts away from her music and artistry and straight onto Jay-Z's messy legacy of unanswered questions. For someone who built her brand on being flawless and untouchable, this is the ultimate nightmare. Jay-Z has always mastered the art of framing his past, showing just enough to fuel the myth while locking the rest behind ironclad legal walls. But those walls are being pried open now, not by industry rivals or rap beefs, but by people claiming ties to his bloodline. And once the public starts to see a pattern, it's almost impossible to win them back. What makes this storm lethal is the collision of money and reputation.
How do you know I'm not a gangster or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
Lose one and you might bounce back. Lose both and you're in free fall with no parachute. Picture the headlines if Jay, still scrambling to cover that billion-dollar judgment, gets slapped with another paternity suit. Now imagine the domino effect. One lawsuit leading to another, old rumors suddenly resurfacing with new context.
I can only say as a father that I hope I instill with them the values that they would want to look for in a man. And I think I did when Beyoncé wrote on her, I think it was her first album, maybe it was the second one, the song Daddy, that she hope that she found someone just like her daddy.
The media would feast on it, weaving a timeline that paints him not as a mogul, but as a man cornered by his own secrets. This wouldn't be a scandal that burns out quick. It would be a slow-motion implosion, dragging out month after month, the kind of collapse no publicist alive could flip into a redemption arc. Even Jay-Z's closest allies, the ones who've stood through his past controversies, are keeping their distance now. His ties to other embattled names in the industry are under fresh scrutiny, and even without direct proof linking him to certain scandals, just the association is enough to make cautious partners quietly step back. Every day without a clear public game plan leaves rivals and critics free to hijack the story and rewrite it in their own words. Across Hollywood, this fallout has turned into a silent loyalty test.
How did you feel initially when Beyoncé started dating Jay-Z, who is very successful, but he's also, generally considered a gangster rapper?
In the week since Remir's courtroom victory, some of Jay's longest-running collaborators have gone radio silent. Kanye, whose bond with Jay has swung from brotherhood to Cold War, hasn't uttered a word. Rihanna, one of Roc Nation's crown jewels, hasn't even hinted at acknowledgement. That silence speaks volumes. It's not just about dodging gossip. It's about dodging crossfire in a scandal that could spill unpredictably into every corner of the business. Meanwhile, not everyone's staying quiet. Some are seizing the chaos to settle old scores. 50 Cent, true to form, has pounced, turning Jay-Z's refusal to take a DNA test into an endless meme cycle, firing off shots on social media and dragging the battle into spectacle territory. His taunts sting deeper than just jokes. They double as signals to the wider industry, a loud reminder that even the biggest titan can bleed. Jay-Z stands exposed now. The protective shield of reverence that once made him untouchable has thinned, and in an industry where perception drives opportunity, that's deadly. Mockery from rivals with equal stature cuts deep, chipping away at the aura of invincibility he's built for decades. What makes the current silence and split reaction so fascinating is the hidden math behind them. Those staying quiet aren't just indifferent, they're calculating their own risks, knowing that a full-scale implosion at Jay's level could drag down anyone too tightly linked. The entertainment world runs on tangled fortunes, shared investments, and hidden secrets. A fall from grace at the very top doesn't stop with one man. It can ripple through every deal, every boardroom, every friendship tied to him. That's why silence isn't apathy, it's self-preservation. It's a gamble that the storm will blow over before anyone's forced to publicly choose a side. But behind the silence lurks another factor: influence. Jay's web stretches into corporate partnerships, award show committees, philanthropic boards. To denounce him outright could mean losing more than a connection. It could mean cutting off the very pipelines of money and power that run through his name. And in this world, networks don't vanish overnight. Even scandal can't erase the gravitational pull of influence. The hesitation we're seeing isn't just loyalty, it's fear. Fear of retaliation, fear of exile from the channels Jay still controls. The longer this stalemate drags on, the louder the whispers grow that Hollywood's elite are bound together by an unspoken pact of survival. Protect your own, even if it means burying the truth. That's the message hidden in the silence of Jay-Z's allies right now. It's not just caution. It feels like a coordinated effort to stop a dangerous precedent where private sins turn into public liabilities. Because if Jay-Z falls, the fear is simple: who's next? That question lingers over Hollywood like a warning siren. In a city built on image, choosing to step back or step in isn't about morals, it's about survival. The bigger question is whether Jay's vast resources, his connections, and his cultural footprint can save him one more time. We've seen industry giants walk away from scandal after scandal, propped up by the very networks now looking shaky. But this one feels different. This is a multi-front war testing everything at once. His legal defense, his public image, his investors' patience, even the stability of his own marriage. Right now, it feels like a true crossroads. One path has Jay-Z clawing back control, throwing money, influence, and silence at the problem until it fades. The other path sees the empire collapse in real time, assets stripped, alliances shattered, and a legacy rewritten, not through platinum hits, but through courtroom transcripts. So the ultimate question remains, will this be the scandal that finally topples one of music's most untouchable icons, or will his power ensure he escapes yet again? If you made it this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is only just getting started.